Yes, here we are. Welcome everyone. 1 minute left till we have the high impact news. Hopefully you are doing good. Trade safe as the volatility right now might increase. Let me know what you think in the chat. I got a poll up as you can see. And let's see if today is the day, no? If today is the day that we do something. And we are going to observe the chart together. I will mainly be focusing on Q&A during this live stream, doing a bit of, not as much analysis. Of course, we will do analysis. That's why it's in the title and the thumbnail. But I will be focused a lot on chatting with all you guys, sharing opinions, observing what's happening with the news, because generally when there is news in 10 seconds, the chart, you got to give it a bit of time. I just want to make sure I'm live. So here's the news, 1:30 p.m. So let's see what we get, which is right now. So see if we get any volatility, yes or no. Of course, later today, we also have at 4:25 the speech. So there is still potential for some volatility then instead of now. But nonetheless, we're going to be observing the upcoming 30 minutes to 1 hour together. If not too much happens, then I might consider stopping the stream after like 30, 40 minutes and then go live again later today at like 4:25 when the speech is happening, so that we can observe the reaction at that moment in time. But of course, for now, here we are. And it's been it's been nice trading last couple of days. We got that move to the upside here as well, as per the pulley lines yesterday. So before we jump into the analysis, let's first see what the chart does now that the news hits. So the Tradingview calendar means 2:30 p.m. Oh wait, am I too early? We had a change of. It's winter. It's summertime now. Wait 1 second here. hey, else we're gonna be online for an hour. Wait, is this UTC2 now? Oh, it's UTC2. It's 1:30. I forgot to change. Last weekend. Oh boy, I said this wrong in my videos as well. So last weekend we had wintertime, summertime changing. So we are now in summertime, which means that this has to be UTC2 instead of UTC1, and mine was still on UTC1. Yeah, I'm such a professional content creator. Look at me go. I can better stick to trading now. Yeah, well, we got a bit of time then. Let me update this in the silver group. Because I was mistaken with the time. It's 2:30 p.m. It's not 1:30. Because of the time change last weekend. I completely forgot about it. And of course, when the time changes to summertime, UTC2, I just got to check TradingView. It says UTC2 here. So TradingView automatically changes, which is good. But on the website here, I got to do it manually. Which I did now, but then it's 2:30, so we have 1 hour. So yeah, I mean, in the meantime, we might as well maybe look at some other stuff. Let me just post this in, wait 1 second here. I got to update this in the silver chats. So nonetheless, we definitely have some room for Q&A and some other stuff. And then by 2:30 p.m., we'll have the news. My news website was still on UTC +1. I completely forgot to change my news website time to UTC +2, meaning news hits in 1 hour. Lol. Okay. Do this, put you guys back on the stream. There we go. And there and there. Yo, I was so like, I was so hyped, you know. I was like, yo, I'm ready. Come on, let the news kick. You know, let's get out of this range. Let's get some volatility. Start of the stream, boom, stuff happening. Nope. Kuhn is an hour too early, yo. Hour too early. Why? Because his website was still on winter time, not summertime. Bullshit. Okay. Anyway, we definitely have some time then for questions and also Q&A. Instead of focusing on Bitcoin, I'll just make sure to focus on you guys, focus on the chat, see what you guys are up to, answer questions. And of course, it also gives some room to possibly look at some other stuff. In the meantime, I'll probably need more water now. I didn't expect to be live for this long. So basically what we're going to do now is a little bit of a switch. So instead of first having the news, which would happen at 2:30, of course, p.m. now, which is in an hour, we first do like the Q&A, the chatting, that sort of stuff. And then when the news hit, we're going to observe what it does for a little bit of time, and then I'll just close the stream afterwards. And, I got to continue with the day. So let's see what happens at 2:30. If nothing happens, then I'll consider going live at which now then is the 5, right? It must be 5 now. Let me have a look here. 5:25. Also, let me move my tabs around here. Let's move that to the left there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's up, everyone? So my bad with the news website. Nonetheless, you can still vote over here. We got a little poll going on, which I'll have on for probably the remaining of the stream. Sibel, welcome, of course. Everyone, Crypto Sam, maybe a Band-Aid. How you doing? From America. Met him a couple of weeks ago. I meet Crypto Sir Sam. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. You made me realize that we're in summertime now. Isn't it annoying, right? Like summertime, wintertime, like, I always forget. The phone adjusts automatically, and so does my stuff here, but not the website. I am. I am, Will. I am. Because of China tariffs. Okay. Stock market's not doing too good. We're going to have a look at some other stuff. Kiwi, how you doing, man? How you doing? I know. My time was set on winter time. S&P is dumping. Interesting. What's up, Bert? What do you think Bitcoin is going short term and 6 months from now? Short term is explained in my recent update. 6 months from now, that's the problem with Elliott waves and having specific time charts is a range in Elliott waves can take a significant amount of time. Now, 6 months from now, at the moment, this structure to the downside, right? So this is the 6 months question. The short term was covered in the analysis, but longer term, 6 months, at the moment, this structure here has a higher probability of being a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure, right? Which therefore means that on a high time frame, which is unrelated to still taking out this low and maybe move to 68 and whatnot, but on a higher time frame, 6 month time frame, the probabilities remain higher to still take out that high. Just because the probabilities are higher, this is a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure. So you can have a range, it's all fine moving down, no problem at all. But then eventually you, of course, expect price to take out this high. Now, the moment you at a later stage take out this high, the bearish scenario becomes a flat, right? Now, in 6 months, are you going to be down here, right? So it very much depends. Okay, so when is this stuff finished here, right? Hopefully today we get some clarity in an hour. If we do move up, take out this high in less than 6 months, what happens up here? Do we get continuation or do we get a flat? So in 6 months, you can basically find yourself up here or you find yourself down here. No? Oh, we can go up and down. Yeah, but it's difficult to exactly state, in 6 months, where are we? Because it depends on the price action, right? So at the moment, probability is higher. This is corrective. So therefore, in a high time frame, probability is higher to take out the all-time high at a later stage, unrelated to taking 88 or 76. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. You do expect price to eventually take out that high. What happens after? We will analyze. Right? We will analyze. A matter of time. we'll do it step by step. What's up, Emra, Bulent, Jackson? What's up? Okay, so we have some time on our hands. So let me just put an alarm at 2 places. I have one alarm down here. Let me just put another one at the high, so we know if anything happens, we'll just get a little notification. We just hit the daily naked point of control down here. As you can see, let me remove this one here. To the upside, 50-minute order block. It's the only 2 things I had on my chart for most of the day. If you've opened my chart is public. Everything I do can be seen. You've probably seen the levels to both the up and the downside. What's up, Alimo? Skakes. Can we go to 8900 and the last wave from the triangle to the upside? No. Because in that case, you would have this as, you need an ABC here in D for the triangle, right? And preferably this is the end of your D. If you get another, and that is because A, B, and then C, right? Your wave C has to be a 5-wave structure. And preferably then this is a 5-waver on the lower time frames. Actually, Stuba posted, what was it, this morning? 1 second here. Let me get it to him. He's been deep diving into the low time frame. Here it is. Open link. So as you can see, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4, and then 5, and then have that as the end of your C, which makes a lot more sense because from an Elliott wave point of view, this structure to the upside is too big now to be considered as a wave 4. Like you need a 1, 2 here, and then what, like 3, 4, 5? It doesn't really work. Or you have a 1, 2, but then you need a 3, 4, 5. So you're likely going to move below support, which makes it tricky because we don't have a lot of stuff going on down here, right? There's not much support till you're then at 76, which therefore means a wave D becomes tricky because the invalidation for D is 76. So in other words, for a wave D, preferably that is that. That's your low for that triangle. Yep. Would you mind please explain the 50-minute order block? Yeah. So I sometimes get questions about order blocks. I'm not sure if it's I mean, it's not an unknown way of technical analysis, I suppose, but let me first get through the theory. So if you have a move to the downside, once you get one candle to the upside and then price continues, preferably on a continuation of high volume, this little range here, this one candle in the opposite direction is what we call an order block. It's just terminology. And in this area, people, of course, buying because you have one positive candle. They buy, and eventually, poof, price falls. So, of course, everyone buying here in a loss. Now, the moment price at a later stage comes back, this one area generally at least gives a reaction and potentially, of course, a turning point. No, but at least gives some sort of a reaction, right? People entering here taking profits, people that entered over here getting out at break even, right? There are some forces at play, but that is the ideal scenario for an order block, is that an order block is positioned. Let me just do this, that's faster. Preferably in the opposite direction in the middle of a move. So here you can see price move down sharply. We had one green candle on your chart, which is gray on my chart here, right? And then price continued dropping. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't really use this as a significant order block, I could have, but we have quite a big wick here to the downside. It's not like we stopped over here, started ranging, and then continued. This was quite a wick, so I selected this one. Of course, you could have said, okay, this is here, another option. I didn't really have it on my chart. But that is what the order block shows, basically, right? It's just areas of support or resistance, and you can find them on any time frame. So this is a 15-minute order block that I then have on my chart, but you can go to any time frame and you will be able to find such order blocks. So this wick is only on the Coinbase chart. Okay. Well, then I was biased by this wick to not have an order block here. So in other words, on any other chart except maybe Coinbase that doesn't have this wick over here, this was also going to be an order block area. Why? Because first of all, you don't have this wick, so you have a bit of a range here, right? You keep moving down, bit of a range, and again you dump. So then this again becomes an order block, as we like to call it. So again, you can find them on any time frame. They're great confluence as well. So that is how it works, right? Really. What's your CVD indicator name? The link doesn't work for me. Interesting. I don't know. So it happens more often that people struggle with the CVD link in the description, which is completely abracadabra to me. But what you have to do is go to Discord. So I don't know if you have a Discord account. That might actually be the issue. So if you have a very new... Oops. If you have a Discord account that is younger than 1 day, you're going to have a problem because we have a scam protection in the group, right? So you can't enter, so you're auto banned. You need a Discord account, else you just older than 1 day in order to join, and else I got to unban you from the list. So basically the link directs you to this good to know channel in Discord, where you have the link to where the CVD runs, right? The website here. You have a one-pager template, which I made, plus the video here. The click here link goes to my CVD video on YouTube. And then here's the templates, I should say. Here's another one. Yeah, that is where the link directs you to. Ending diagonal as C of zigzag. Last step since Trump has spoken. Ending diagonal as C of a zigzag fits with bullish, leading also with WXY to the downside. What's up, Olgu? Not really seeing any leading diagonals here at the moment. It's a bit early. Leading diagonals, I generally wait for like a wave 4 to form. When did the analysis started? Well, it was actually... so here, for everyone that just joined, I'm going to do some other charts before we jump in Bitcoin. So I expected the news to actually hit 15 minutes ago, but my website was still on winter time, 1:30 p.m. instead of summertime, because last weekend we changed to summertime. And this website is unfortunately one of the few things that don't automatically change. So it was still set to UTC +1, while all my other systems, of course, were already adjusted. So therefore, it's 2:30 p.m. So what I wanted to do with the live stream initially is just observe the chart and do more Q&A. So if you have questions, of course, the recent analysis is still very much on, which is the video from yesterday, right? It's 19 minutes, was actually one of the longer ones. And that one is still absolutely valid, right? So no problem. I was more focused during the live stream, or that was the plan, on Q&A, engagement, answering questions, seeing some other charts, maybe some alts, and then, call it the stream. And at the beginning, just observe what price does. Because with the volatility, generally, if there is high impact news, the first 15, 30 minutes on a chart are not really worth really analyzing. You're just waiting for price to stabilize again. But now, of course, I'm an hour early. So what we're going to do is basically flip it around. We have the Q&A now, and we can check some other stuff. And then by 2:30, I'll be here, of course. We are going to observe the chart, see what happens, and then take our conclusions from it, and then eventually end the stream. So I'm basically turning around the initial schedule that I had for the stream. So in 40 minutes, the news hits, and then we're going to keep an eye on Bitcoin mainly. I can't see the dotted lines like in your chart. Yanis, you have to go to the template that says with the newest. This one here. This is the one with dotted lines. That's the one you'll have to download. It's public for everyone, by the way. Can you give the color code for your canvas? Yes, I can. Actually, quite a lot of people nowadays run my color codes. Interestingly, so here's the candles, right? So for the color code, that's the candle color code. And then I think the orange one here, that's, yeah, oh no, it's a custom as well. So that is the, I suppose it's orange, it's actually not red color code. And then for the background, we have the blue here. That's the color code. And then we have black, which is just standard black right top. So that is the codes that I am running. It just, it's not green and red. It gives me more peace when I look at the chart. So, yeah. Okay, I see ADA, I see XRP. Let's jump in some analysis. Does Elliott Wave still work with the Black Swan event? It predicts Black Swan events. Can you check cost USDT? Okay, a couple of things coming in here, a couple of alts. What's up, Guard? Yeah, there's currently bullish and bearish CVDs running on the chart. With the local move down, preferably you get a local 5-minute move up supported by bullish CVDs. Welcome from Norway, by the way. And you're bullish for... Oh, okay. I get you, Olgu. I mean, that one is still very much on ending down a C of a zigzag. Yeah. Ending diagonal as a C. Possibly, yes. Yes, it definitely works. So... Exactly. What's up, Patrick? Okay. Unable to join Discord. Maybe you've tried before and then appeared in the ban list, and then we first have to unban you in order to get access. So make sure to write your use and then your Discord name, right? And then we will be able to find you in the list. Odin is here as well. Do we need to touch 85.5 before moving down? No, doesn't have to touch 85.5 before a move to the downside. For the triangle, the only thing you want to see is a wave E. However, in the context, because what you're talking about is the triangle, which is not this one, right? You remember the one that we covered in the update. So after that update, I, of course, needed a screenshot for the thumbnail, and then I moved everything back. But let me just put it back to its usual stuff. So your wave E... Right. The only thing you want is wave E to be a simple zigzag structure. Now, due to the size of your A, B, C, and then, of course, your wave D, preferably your wave E would be at least decent in size, right? A bigger structure, a little bit similar, at least, to previous structures in time. It's not a necessity. So the polylines of yesterday, remember, conclusion, we're looking for price to move up. From support, take out this low. That is what we were looking for, and that is what we got. It doesn't need to go to resistance above, but from a time perspective, it would be nice to see. Yeah, it would be nice to see. Okay, let's get started with some of the stuff that I see flying by. So we go to my altcoin list, and I saw people talking about ADA. It's been a while since we were here on the ADA chart. Let's see what we got here. So we reached the point of control. Let's remove the rubbish. Okay, so the point of control, apparently I still had it on my chart. So big area, of course, of resistance. And that is also where we rejected. Now, what's interesting is I think we got an 886 here. Don't we? Take it from that. Is this wick on all? Wait, let me check. I'm not... 3rd of Feb. Let me find another chart here. Let's go by... Yeah, it is. Okay. Or is that the same chart that I just... It is. No, it was a different chart. Let's go Coinbase. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So it is definitely a wick. Now... with those type of wicks, almost touched the 86. We actually just missed out. It is quite common to fill wicks like these, like these very long, big wicks. So I won't be surprised. Of course, this here is a low, and to the upside, we very clearly have a 3-wave structure, which would be bearish on the daily here. So you would preferably take out that low, right? If you're bullish, then you have a 3-wave structure, right? You finish at the low. Cool. We need an impulsive move towards the upside. And an impulsive structure to the upside would either be a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, we didn't get the 4 and the 5. You either have a diagonal, right? 1 and then a 2 and then 3, 4, 5. Too early, doesn't make sense at the moment. Or a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and eventually continuation. But your second wave 2 has touched the 886 yesterday. Or maybe even a few days ago. So the probabilities are higher that this structure here is corrective, not impulsive, which therefore increases the probabilities to, at the minimum, continue raging / take out this low. So in other words, probabilities are higher to move down instead of taking out that high. Now, by all means, right, we can use the same logic to analyze the structure here to the downside, right? Is it corrective or impulsive? It's similar to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, in a way, from all-time high to the downside, looks better as a corrective structure. This, of course, gives us directional bias, right, by the way. So we have a directional bias of this section. But if we go up a notch, I could go to a weekly time frame, we can analyze this move to the downside. Now, let me have a look because, of course, I haven't been here for a very long time on this chart. I actually don't know what folders I have. So let me have a look first. What are we even... What's this? High time frame? Okay, well, not much. Simple. Okay, well, it's not very useful. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what's this? ABC. Okay, well, let's go back to the daily. There we go. So, this structure to the downside. Let's have a look now. I'm going to do a quick few things. A little bit of analysis. We did hit the 0.7. It reduces probabilities of a double zigzag. It is not an invalidation of a double zigzag. Okay. Ooh, we took out this high. I'm also gonna, let's see. What's the rectangle? Where's the, oh, it's all the way down there. So the first structure to the downside, impulsive or corrective? Well, for an impulse, we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. At the moment, we can see this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, where is our wave 4? There's no wave 4 at the low. In this local move down, we had the highest amount of volume in this low. Preferably, you then see 4 and 5. We didn't get 4 and 5. So a normal impulse doesn't work, leaving us with a diagonal or a multi 1, 2. Multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 doesn't work. Price took out this high, which invalidates a multi 1, 2, leaving you then with a diagonal. And a diagonal preferably then finishes actually down here. This is then a corrective part of the diagonal. So you then have, you would need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because a diagonal is a 5-wave structure and you need to create 3 lows. No? You have low 1, low 2, low 3. Right? That's the structure you want. Here, 2 lows. So we need one more, and then we would basically need to force this as an extra low. Now, what you then, of course, get is a bit of a very awkward diagonal, because then this is your wave 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Which means that you have a diagonal like this, which is definitely not pretty, right? That would be an expanding diagonal, very rare, never preferred, unless everything else fails, which means that the probabilities are higher that this structure is corrective, increasing the probabilities for price to take out this high on the very high time frame. We're now on a daily, but we're talking weeks, if not months, right? So that is the very high time frame bias, right? Now to the downside, we are at a bit of support. There you go, talking about order blocks earlier, right? Great example as well. Also here, by the way, you can see, right? They generally give a reaction, quick move up, bit of a range, quick move up, bit of a range, right? You come back, reaction, come back, reaction, twice. Perfect example of how order blocks work as areas of support in this case, right? Very, very nice. Value area low, 0.46. And then again, this structure to the upside is also corrective. So yeah, with Cardano, definitely from this low here, it does not show me any interest to long at the moment or to buy. We're either going to range sideways for a longer period of time or take out this low again. At the moment, there is no sign whatsoever of bullish continuation yet on this chart. So, yeah, got to be patient. Okay, next up. I saw, by the way, someone talking about XRP earlier. I actually want to make a video about XRP. So I did Ethereum recently. I get so many requests in DMs and other places. So, yeah, that's why I start to do some analysis on alts now on the channel as well. If Bitcoin is not really doing anything, Bitcoin at the moment moving up. Very nice. So here we then have our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? So this would still lead to XRP creating new highs. This has been, this analysis is also very old, by the way. This is done weeks ago, if not months, since the last altcoin streams that we did, where we were looking for a 4 to start. Wait, is this still connected to the previous high? I'm gonna put it on the higher one. Maybe we do this. Doesn't really matter too much. No. But in this case, you're still looking for a 4 and another 5 to the upside as the highest probability scenario on XRP. If we jump to lower time frames, then we took out the lows here. So that's a liquidity grab. We have a order block right on top of the 0.382, right? Keep this area in mind as well at 146. Let's see. Sharp move to the downside. Highest amount of volume in the low. Preferably in an impulse. That's a wave 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've never got a wave 4. We never got a wave 5. Increasing probabilities. This structure is corrective, not impulsive, which is good for the bulls. Now let me have a look though. Can we somehow make this still an expanding diagonal structure? Again, it's very similar to Bitcoin, where the start of the move down can theoretically be counted as an expanding diagonal. It's just that expanding diagonals are rare. So you preferably move into corrective structures like a WXY or other structures instead of counting the WXYs. Yeah, you just missed Cardano, Stephen. What a timing. What a timing. Let me quickly check if we can at least consider an expanding structure here. So an expanding diagonal would, of course, then be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We need 3 lows, okay? Of course, your 5 is incredibly long, but that would be 3, 3, 3. So it's all 3-wave structures. So you would then count 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And then we have that, and then we have this. Now let me have a look here. So wave 4 touches the upper trend line. That's what you like to see. Wave 4 should be longer in price than wave 2, which is also the case. So in theory, you can count an expanding diagonal here, which of course would be more bearish because this is a 5-wave structure. Then you range and eventually you come back down once again, right? Or another leg. This 5-wave structure is either wave A or wave 1. Now, and then there we go again, of course. Expanding diagonals are not common structures, right? They're not like stuff that you see very often. So we have to take it with a grain of salt, but at least got to be aware. Now that being said, of this low moved, it starts to get a little messy. So let me just close this, put that there. Okay, there we go. Cool. Move to the upside. Same as on Cardano. Is not very impulsive. I mean, it's sharp, but it's not a great impulsive structure, no? So the conclusion here would be the same. Again, if this is the end of a bigger wave 4, you want impulsive structures. And I don't have to convince you to tell you that this looks very 3-wavy. Right? I think everyone can see that off this low, we have a move up, we have a move down, right? A flat A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a wave C. You get your next leg up. Incredible 3-wave structure to the upside, no? And then we take out this low. So then off this low, you can do the same thing. Can we count an impulse? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never got 4, 5. Diagonal. I mean, doesn't really work, no? Then if ABC, that's your 1. Then you need an ABC, that's your 2. You still need a 3, a 4, and a 5. And then after this, you get a retracement continuation. In other words, you're going to be stuck in this range for still a much longer period of time. Diagonal is also difficult to give the highest probabilities as long as your wave 4 is not in on XRP, right? And then you have the multi 1-2 being 1-2, 1-2 up, but you took out the low, so that's invalidated. So in other words, probabilities are higher that this is corrective. Same conclusion as Cardano. Therefore, the probabilities are higher that you're going to either continue ranging and you get clarity later, or you take out that low and you move to the order block down here at like 150. At the moment, over here, for me, there is no sign of strength, no sign of it being over, the range being over. We do, of course, not mind continuation of the range. As it ranges, we get more clarity. And then at a later stage, we're like, okay, now we see some good stuff. At the moment, there's not really anything going on, of course, right? So very much a zigzaggy structure to the upside. Zigzag to the upside can create different subwaves, right? So a zigzag can be the beginning of a triangle, A, B, C, D, and then eventually E. It can lead to a double zigzag W, X, Y, but that is unlikely because we touched the 0.7, which reduces probabilities for a double zigzag. You can have a flat ABC, which is bearish because after you expect price to move down again. So yeah, conclusion is the same as Cardano at the moment. Just, gotta wait. There's just no interest yet. But that is the daily time frame, by the way. On a weekly, this is still your highest probability scenario for now, where you still look for a move up, right? Unrelated to, like, look how big the target area for your wave 4 is, right? It literally doesn't, going to 146, it's perfectly fine. As long as you don't hit 1, that's a problem. It would be very deep retracement as well, by the way. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But at the moment, right, like if we try to pinpoint the end of a wave 4, at the moment there's nothing here that screams, ooh, the end of wave 4 is in. You definitely need some more ranging, some more information. What if we... so let's do a little typical thing that I like to do on stream. I usually do this in my head, but on stream I like to write it down because it makes it more clear for all of you watching. So if you think about a corrective structure, because a wave 4, of course, is a correction, well, let's have a look. For a zigzag ABC, you still need to take out the low. For a flat ABC, you first need to take out the high, which is the goal anyway on the weekly time frame. And at the moment, if we check time, then yeah, unlikely, right? Because your wave B here is already 3 times, right? If you want a flat A, get a B in, and then C, then your B is already over 3 times longer compared to A, and wave B in a flat, right, is most often a zigzag family structure. In some cases, people say it has to be a zigzag family structure. 535, well, we have a 535 here, which didn't make it above the high, right? Or at least 90% of A. So no flat, no B, which means a double zigzag, WXY, but wave X touched the 0.7 fib of the W, which reduces probability significantly for a double zigzag. So in other words, zigzag, right? It would not be finished yet. We're talking about, can we finish anything? Zigzag wouldn't be finished yet. You need to take the low. Flat, low probabilities. Triangle. Well, then we need an A, B, C, D, E. It's a little bit, right, like A, quite lengthy, B, long, C, it starts to be a little short, D, E. You're not allowed to take this low. That's an invalidation. Triangles definitely happen in wave 4s, but what would give me confidence and the way that I would like, to approach this from a trading perspective is triangles are very unreliable structures, right? Like people love counting triangles. The moment that you get this, I bet there's someone here or out there that's like, ooh, triangle, right? So the moment price is converging, people usually put two trend lines and they're like, ooh, that's a triangle. But a triangle is, it has some rules to it. But anyway, besides deep Elliott wave stuff, what I would like to see after a triangle is give me confidence that I get an impulse up, right? No problem missing the move. I just wait for a 3-wave correction down, and that is my entry. Probably even a better risk-reward ratio because I know where to put my stop loss, looking for continuation. Now, that is something I'm interested in. Right? That is something I would take. I think a great example is here on XRP. Look at this, right? Very, very, very messy price action, right? There's absolutely zero interest. But then you get this. We got a very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharp move to the upside with a flat down, flat A, B, C, right? You come back up. You touch the 886, taken from this high to the low, increases probabilities to take out this high, which you, by the way, do over here, right? So you have a bullish perspective. You're looking for price to take out that high after the 886 here is touched. So all of this is entry potential, right? Now, price again moves up, takes out that high, comes back down. What is this? 3-wave structure, not a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've never got 4 and 5, right? Price eventually changes market structure. This is the moment where this is confirmed 3-wave. That is the moment a position becomes very interesting in case, of course, you didn't yet enter over here, right, as explained. And then that is where it starts to get interesting because as long as I don't have this move up and a corrective structure down, how do I, with great confidence, enter a new position except for DCAing into XRP for a year prior, right? Because this whole range on XRP, and I've been saying this before price broke out in my altcoin live streams, this was highest probability corrective. I even made a short about it actually on my channel. There was a short about it as well. The highest probabilities here was that this is corrective and you look for price to take out all-time high. We've been saying it for months, right? So you can go back to the content, right, in 2024, looks at some old live streams. But unless you DCA, because unless it's corrective, but corrective structures, right? There's many corrective structures. So you can just DCA in knowing, expecting, okay, we're looking for price to take the high. From a more trading perspective, there's nothing in this move up that was like, ooh, interesting, right? Now that's something I'm looking for, right? But yeah, we were looking for price to move up anyway. So now we got to move up. Oh, and then, of course, so a triangle still possible, but give me a 5-wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective move down. Yep, that's where I'm happy. That's where I would like to enter. Then you have WXY, which means this has to be a W zigzag because W can only be a zigzag or a flat. It's definitely not a flat, right? That has to be a zigzag. Then we have wave X, and you then eventually get wave Y. Now, because price touched the 0.7, I believe. Yep, a double zigzag, W, X, and then Y, double zigzag, ABC, correction, ABC, is very low probability. Higher probabilities, you continue this range more sideways, right? No problem filling the wick, but you don't expect price to go down super deep. So in a sideways WXY, X, touches the 0.7, perfectly fine. But wave W is already then counted as a zigzag, meaning Y cannot be a zigzag, has to be a flat or a triangle, A, B, C, D, E. In other words, continue the range as explained earlier, right? Get more clarity, or a flat, A, B, C, which would be a great fake out, then take out the lows and then move up. But at the moment, it doesn't yet here say like, oh, we're finished, right? If it's a triangle and the triangle would be finished here, then yeah, cool. Give me proof. Give me proof. Impulse up, correction down. Yeah, I'm happy. Don't need to enter at the low. I need to enter where my probabilities tell me that's a good position, right? Pleasure for the Cardano analysis, man. Pleasure, pleasure. I see a lot of SUI that was requested. I will make separate videos about this as well, so that you don't have to like search in a live stream. Oh wait, when did Kun do this again? Where? Yeah. Okay, let me clean up the chart first of all, and then go to the high time frame. Let's have a look. Where are? Oh yeah. Ooh, people should, if you're here, have a look at the streams of last year, July here. Yeah. This is one of the best, one of the best and like outcomes of the analysis. We were looking for price to take out all-time high, which on this coin was from the weekly here. What's that? Like a nice like 250, 300%. So, but anyway, we have this going on at the moment. Up. So this has not changed. It's just I got to reposition some stuff a little bit. It's old. Let me remove the 886. Bit of a diagonalish end. Now the issue, by the way, counting this as a wave 4 at the moment, is that you have overlap between a wave 1 and a wave 4, which is not allowed in an impulse. So of course, I think the last time we were at this chart is also months ago, when we were still up here. So the fact that wave 1 and wave 4 overlap now invalidate an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unless you move into a diagonal. Now what we can see is that off the low, we so far have a 3-wave structure to the upside. So naturally your bearish scenario is, that was the, I can use the same this is easier. Let me just do this. Right, you always need a bearish and a bullish scenario. A, B, and then C. And then, of course, you need impulsive moves down. We're going to observe this structure in a second. We'll have a look. Okay. And then the bulls. You're now either looking at a diagonal. Now, wave 3 is longer than your wave 1. I don't really like to see that in a diagonal. I prefer wave 3 to be shorter, but it's not an invalidation. Not an invalidation. You can still have a diagonal. I'm just going to put everything on my chart and then we talk probabilities. I mean, that's how we do. Let me check some stuff here. See the invalidations. Of course, a multi 1-2 comes to mind. Right, so that's, you don't want to hit this lower trend line for a diagonal. So wave 4 should not be bigger than wave 2. What's the time? Okay, we have news in 13 minutes. Where's Bitcoin at the moment? A little bit of a bounce on the daily naked point of control. Okay, so these are your invalidations. I didn't even bother calling my groups. Okay, so that's one. Okay, now we have mistake. The silence during the live stream. sometimes, like back in the day, I sometimes tried putting on some music, but in the end, the vote was that no music actually was better for many people. Just full focus on the chart instead of having some beat running in the background. Okay, do this. And also I still generally talk while I do my analysis to explain stuff. This is of course your double 1-2. That would be very bullish. Your second wave one though is bigger than the first wave one. Yep. And also in time, both in price and time, the second leg up is bigger. So that is generally... oh no, wait. I need to do this. There we go. 1 second here. I'm messing things up. In time, it's actually shorter in time. It's just longer in price. Yeah, it's longer in price, much longer in price actually. So the 0.382, at least wave 2 moved or made another low after the 382, which is also what you like to see. The 382 is very shallow for a wave 2. Your most common target is the white box in this scenario, 157 0.78, which would be very deep. Now, here's what I would look for. We're at an order block. Again, this is your typical order block scenario. Price is moving down. This is your first area, right, of support, besides the fact it's actually a support resistance area as well. So this is always a very interesting area for at least a bounce to the upside. We had a little bit of a reaction here, not much though. Now this is very messy, very, very messy. Let's see. Up. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4, but then we overlap, and that's not allowed. Wave 1 and wave 4, so we can't count this 1 2 3 4 5. So that means what's the chance? Expanding diagonal. Not really prefer to start a move here with an expanding diagonal again. So far it looks of course pretty sharp, so I'm just checking if I can find a impulsive structure to the downside while keeping an eye on Bitcoin here. News of course hitting now, 2:30. All right, so 8 minutes left, 8 minutes left. And then we're going to go and have a look at the Bitcoin chart. Trade 3 in 5. Just checking. I'm checking an ABC. I'm checking a flat. It's quite high for a flat though. So check. So again, we made a low here. So this is what I like to do, right? This is a messy move to the downside. So then I'm like, okay, you know, let's have a look more locally for our time frame. You know, okay, can I pull some trend lines here and create a diagonal? Yes, I haven't checked the measurements, but at least there's an option to. But then, of course, you get diagonal, move down, move up, right? Okay, but that's an ABC, and an ABC is not really bullish. No, if we want to move to the upside, we want an impulse, a diagonal, or a multi 1-2. not an ABC. Unless the ABC leads to a bigger diagonal, it's too early. So that would be bearish, or at least continue the range. So then I'm like, okay, well, it's an altcoin. Altcoins can be very volatile. What if you have this as a diagonal structure, and then eventually you create A, B, and then a wave C to the downside, right? So a flat. But then your wave B, there you go. I was pressing different buttons. Then your wave B moved beyond the 1.618, which doesn't happen often for wave Bs. Now, there is, I forgot what the name is of the analyst. Is that Kennedy? I'm not sure. And they say, okay, well, we respect the 2, right? The 2 is our max. And the 2 is, of course, touched. And then you want a wave C to the downside. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure or something, right? All good, all good. Now, at the moment, though, if this would be a flat A, B, C with a very high B, of course, right, like, okay, well, for an impulse, we need a low and then impulse to the upside and, up we go. But instead, we take out this low, which now then creates a scenario here that's the following. If we want to be bullish, then this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we either need an ending diagonal, right? And in other words, this is going to take a while. I'm on a 4-hour time frame. So you first need another move up, another move down, and only then. That's going to take days, if not weeks, of course. Alternatively, that is a W. You need a wave X, and then you need a wave Y. Right? In other words, continue the range. So what are the probabilities at the moment? Well, just like on Cardano, just like on, XRP, there is nothing here at the moment that shouts, buy me. Oh. On the chart, there is no sign of strength at the moment. So also here, just like Cardano XRP, got to give it more time. Sideways price action / taking out this low is at the moment a higher probability because there's just no clear indication of, okay, this is an impulsive move. The only thing that I like is the fact that we are at support, which is this order block, and it would be nice to have a bit of a reaction. But I need to see some local strength. Else, of course, I'm not interested. On a weekly time frame, though, it's a bit unfortunate that the impulse is invalidated, right? The standard impulse of looking for your 1, 2, and then your 3, 4, 5, because your wave 1 and 4 now overlap, which is not allowed in an impulse. We got a solid move up, right? Solid big structure to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can definitely and easily count this as impulsive. Also, for the traders out there, of course, when you see this, that's not bullish, right? You get big moves to the upside on a high amount of volume, right? In your wave 3, you get your wave 4, get a wave 5 on lower volume. That's a typical impulsive structure, right? Highest volume in 3, move up, lower volume in 5. And the moment here, of course, you start then creating ranges on top of one another, which are either 4s and wave 5s, of a lower degree or an ending diagonal. That's exit, right? That's get out of here. We expect a retracement, and the retracement either expected as a wave 4, right? But then cool, right? At least I'm not part of this move to the downside. Alternatively, we finished the bear scenario in ABC. Where is it? Not that one, that one. This move down at the moment for me is not really worth analyzing in detail. It's very messy, so I prefer to keep an eye on the 4-hour. And at the moment, it doesn't tell me like, ooh, invest in me again. So yeah. Also here, wait for an impulse up, corrective move down, entry potential, and then look for continuation here. Same here. This move up, not interesting, right? You're at all-time lows. Happy to miss this move on a weekly time frame. We talk now. When we were analyzing this as price was moving down, right? So you can go many months back. Probabilities were higher to take the high. We had 2 areas of main support, these 2 over here, right? That's interesting because now I got proof of an impulse up, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? A good impulse to the upside with a multi-zigzag correction to the downside, higher probability moving into support. That is what gives the opportunity. Whoa. Wait, where's the stop loss at, Joe? Whoop. That then gives the opportunity to enter. Of course, your invalidation is officially, of course, the low, but that gives the opportunity to enter at supports and look for price to move up. And then you just follow the move to the upside and trade accordingly. So yeah, at the moment, not very interesting. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna move to Bitcoin. 1 minute left. So we've done a couple of alls. So there we are. I was actually expecting the news to hit an hour ago. That's why I went live an hour ago, but my time was wrong. UTC +1 instead of +2. Last weekend, we moved into summertime. Do you know? So, and my news website wasn't yet adjusted. So in my videos, I was talking about, the news is 1:30 p.m. And then everyone's like, wait, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Right? It's 2:30 p.m. I know now, at least, because I was clueless before this live stream. So 10 seconds to go. High impact news. Make sure you trade safe, right? We can get some increased volatility on the chart in 3, 2, 1. I always like these moments. It's almost like New Year's Eve, waiting for a bit of a bang, some volatility, some action, hopefully some sort of a get out of this range type of movement, because, oh boy, have we been in this range, of course, for a long period of time. It has been very nice, trading-wise, of course, if you kept an eye on the channel in the past at least couple of days, weeks. This has been very nice to trade, especially once this high was made, the move down, the move up, and this move up here as well. And now that the news hits, what I always like to do, first of all, manage your positions accordingly. Second, if you don't have a plan, you don't enter, right? You don't want to trade based on emotion. You don't have to catch every move. Right, with all the news and stuff, I like to wait for price to settle. If not yet in a position, just wait for a new range. The weekend is coming up. Generally, the weekend is a ranging structure, not an impulsive structure. Right, so just take it very easy. And let me put on my support. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. So what I like to do is just observe the news together with all of you. And see what we get, and then we're gonna close the stream after, as I still have a busy schedule ahead the remaining hours of this day. So also the weekend is coming up. So hey, if you're doing something interesting during the weekend, let me know. What's up, Obelix Kiwi? I will also put some videos out with analysis on the alts. So you can expect that to come. Of course, we did Ethereum last week, but other alts will follow with some analysis on the channel, some videos. So individual videos per alt instead of pushing it into a live stream. Miamania, hi Kun, how about oh yeah, okay, yeah. So I will now focus on Bitcoin. No? Yeah, Bitcoin remains of course, the main thing. But if Bitcoin is ranging, or it's just not doing something that's worth providing a new update about, then I prefer to provide an update on a different asset. So that's when an alt comes in. So if Bitcoin doesn't really change anything compared to a previous analysis, well, we just do something else. Let me have a quick look up here. Yeah, so we did ADA. Or Cardano, XRP, and SUI. From Malta, by the way. Christian, you're living the life, eh? Living the life. Maybe a jump into the still cold sea. Enjoy. Enjoy, dude. Enjoy, I can't see any dotted lines. Giannis, click on this. Go to this link. Oops, not that one. That was the wrong one. This one. Because then you get to this channel, Kun CVD, and that is where you have the dotted lines template. And that will help you out there. That will help you out. Yeah, again, Bitcoin dominance is interesting. What's up, Perkill? Missed all the action? Nah. I just went live an hour early because I thought the news was going to hit an hour late, like an hour ago. But here we are. So earlier today in the silver section, so this is support, of course, daily naked point of control. Let's see what the fib is. Did we touch an 886 or did we not? We just missed out on touching an 886. I got a couple of groups here. That one is irrelevant now. What's this? Nothing. And this one. So, yeah. When I was earlier today counting this structure to the upside, and I was looking for a 5 wave. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then an extended fifth. Extended fifths, they're not very common, but nonetheless, it's an impulsive structure, so it's good to count it like this. And after this range, took the high, sharp move down. I've seen Pistachio, credit to Pistachio, of course, putting an ABC here, right? That quote unquote is like a more bearish option. But then this has to be a wave A, and A has to be a 5-wave structure. So you need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that means 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And you can see the fours a little bit mini. They're very, very short in time, or at least you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a shorter 4 compared to 2, which is less common, not an invalidation. But yeah. A 5-wave move, having some resistance still to the upside. No. Still decent. Didn't touch the 886. This is your final area of support below the daily naked point of control, and we have the blue box. So hopefully we get some volatility, and if not now, hopefully at 525. All right. I have no idea what this means, so the fundamentalists here maybe know more about what it does. Do you have to pay? Nope. Well, unless you want to. It's for free, but then indeed we do ask support. So either you become an affiliate of the channel, support that way, or you pay $60. So it's completely free if you wish to support the channel, because there's a lot of work that goes into coding a CVD with all the automated lines. It's not like we just make it with. So we ask for support in return. Little support at the 786 daily below your blue box at 80. I don't have a daily below 80 actually. For me, there's no. Oh, here. No, I have a daily at 78. Wait, do I actually have that one on my chart? No, I don't. I don't have a daily at 80. Interesting, this one here. 78.5, yes, though. Yo, Liquid Mafia. How are you doing? Yeah, that's been a while indeed. Yeah, how are you doing? For the ones that don't know Liquid Mafia, he's one of the very first subscribers on the channel. Always pops in now and then. One of the very first members of the Discord group as well. And he always has very fascinating analysis. So, are you still hanging out here or not? Wait, I can't. Wait, I can't search because of. There we go. And let's see if I can find. Hello. There we go. So his charts are like interstellar. It's like he makes use of Fibonacci circles. I don't know how to implement this. I know a lot about Elliott waves, but not this type of stuff. And once in a while, he pops in, drops some absolute nuggets, and then continues with the month again. So this is like how his charts look. So yeah. It's fascinating to learn, to see him use it, and also to put a conclusion to it. And I think one of his best charts is this one here. So I think once upon a time he put a link in chat about it. But yeah, just search for yourself in Discord. So yeah, it's Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and he basically explains where we are in the cycle in a lot of detail. So make sure to check that one out. Okay, a little bit of a wick, volume increasing. And I go back to what I said earlier. When the news hits and you get some volatility on the chart, right? Zoom out. No need to be on a 1 minute chart and be like, oh, we move up. Oh, gotta buy. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Oh, we go down. Oh, I'm selling. Oh, the emotional stuff. Generally, if not yet positioned around news hours, take a step back, enjoy the weather, go for a dip in the sea like Christian, and take it easy. Ziggy, if everything went well, then we should give you your role very, very soon. Let me immediately check it here as well while we're at it. Let's see. Yes, I see it. On Bybit. So I will check that after the live stream. I will check it after the live stream. Welcome, Farasavan. What's up? How are you doing? Welcome. And Liquid Mafia, how are you? How are you? Everyone, the weekend is coming up as well. So while we are checking if anything happens on the chart, it's actually pretty quiet. No, pretty quiet. We have some news. If there's any fundamentalists that know what these numbers mean, feel free to tell me. I am a pure technical analyst. I just have this website prepared, as always, because I want to know if we can get some volatility, yes or no, at certain hours. But so far, the NFP news is a little bit disappointing. So let's hope that in the first couple of hours after it drops, and maybe with the speech here, we at least get some sort of a move. No. It has been a while. I'm around, but much like price action, nothing much happening. Yeah, just checking, watching, chilling, observing, waiting for stuff to happen. Yeah. Same here, though. Of course, I'm always analyzing. Come on. Yeah, this makes me think of the meme with the Bitcoin do something stick. When's the update stream with Robert P? I gotta actually send him a message, tell him how he's doing, and maybe we can plan something. That would be really cool. I don't yet know how to do a very good duo live stream with OBS. Preferably, I use OBS compared to the Mac software, but I'll make sure to check that out. There is a way to do interview mode on OBS, and then it would be great to have Prechter here and then answering some questions together, or actually me asking him your questions and then he answers. So yeah, should be good. For the ones that don't know, Robert Prechter is the founder of Elliott Wave International, author of Elliott Wave Principle, which is the book that I have on my desk here, which is now, of course, also a assigned. Wait, I can't see my own webcam. There we go. Which is, of course, after I've been to America, also signed by the man himself. Really, really cool. But yeah, so he is a big man in the Elliott Wave space, and at the honor of meeting him in America in at the end of February. So we had a great click. We went for dinner, my wife, myself, Robert and his wife. And we had a great time. It was awesome. It was so chill, so relaxed, such a fun guy. Yeah, really, really cool. You can do practice interview runs with the mods. That is true. We should probably do some practice interviews with private streams and just test it privately, not spamming everyone here. What would it mean if this entire structure, not 5-wave, but zigzag all the way to 76? What would it mean if this entire structure is not a 5-wave, but a zigzag all the way to 76? Yes, I am of the same opinion, Dan. I am of the same opinion. So the question is basically, if we zoom out, right, he says, this structure all the way down to 76. What if this is not a 5-wave, but zigzags all the way down? And that is exactly the highest probability. That's what I've been covering myself as well. I don't count this as a high probability impulse to the downside. So either a diagonal, a 5-wave, I should actually say a motive wave, but you know what I mean. A 5-wave impulse, a diagonal, or a multi-1-2. It counts much better as a corrective structure to the downside, which then indeed would be part of the zigzag family. So Dan, I am aligned with your thoughts, and I agree. What's your thoughts, rough count on the others chart? Ooh, that's been a while. Yeah, Bitcoin not really doing a lot, eh? Shit. It's a bit disappointing. I was hyped for the news. Always happens. Okay. Well, that also means basically I will wrap up the oh, we haven't been on this chart for a very long time. It looks very 3-wavy. I'm considering a flat, by the way. Potential for the 5-wave to end. Of course, there's also possibly a flat here. Touched it. A, B, and then C. 3-wave A, 3-wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave C. And in that case, this is high time frame. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So it would be nice to go a little bit lower, no? In that case, ooh, zooming in doesn't make things very pretty, no? Or yeah, you would need a couple of 4 5s. Grind in the beginning, sharp move, and then a grind to end. We did touch the 886 from the all-time high to this move down, increasing probabilities to still take the all-time high here, right, at a later stage. So that's quote unquote bearish. Basically what then happens is that this wave 4 is longer, so you're going to extend this wave 4, and then wave 5 also moves, because this, it looks 3-wavy. I don't want to put too much go into too lower time frames, but just on a weekly, of course it looks 3-wavy, so you can consider a flat and then still move up one final time to finish your 5, take the double top, grab it, go back down. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty neat. Also, of course, we did hit the 0.5, and you don't want to hit the 618 for a wave 4. Yeah, Liquid Mafia. Then I think we're thinking the same thing here. Yeah. Similar thought. Hopefully, we get some more volatility when Powell is going to speak later. The signed Elliott Wave book is so cool. I'm behind a bit with my viewing. No worries, Legendario. I still see your comments popping in. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I actually have his other book as well, Socioeconomic Theory of Finance. I didn't bring it with me because of weight. It's actually a heavy book. Yeah? And this one is the one I care about the most. Early this time, Mechi HK. Well, actually, you're once again at the end of the stream. So Mechi HK is basically an indicator by now. Every time he joins, I'm ending the stream, which is not a joke, as I'm actually kind of like about to continue. Maybe if later during the news we get some volatility, I will go live again. Same thumbnail, same title. See what we get. Nothing really happening. Very, very, very meh. Or we just close the stream and then of course, boom. But 525 here. He's speaking as well, Mr. Powell. So I have no idea if these numbers are bearish or bullish. That's up to the fundamentalists here. So I don't know. But I wouldn't mind. Let's see, seeing some resistance touch. We had an order block here, and we have another one up here with a daily, and then 2 point of controls up there as well. My folder moved. Go down. There we go. But yeah, we need some local strength, and at the moment there's news. You know, it's currently news stuff as well, so I'm not very interested in local price action. No, doesn't make sense. Gotta wait. Ice Cubes lady, welcome. Yeah, if anything happens, I'll consider going back online. It looks like a downward channel formed. A crypto gardenist, welcome, by the way. A downwards channel. You are correct, of course, from the high. If you would use channels, then you are correct. Yep. Which is also, of course, what you like to see here when you look for example, a bigger triangle, right? A, B, C, D, and not actually have E here, by the way, but then D here, which means that this is A, B, C inside D. And preferably a zigzag follows a channel structure, right? That is ideal. A, B, and then C, and somewhere around the lower edge of the channel. So it works. Yeah. Unemployment rate is up, but more new jobs were added. Okay, so it's a mix. Interesting. Could that be a running flat with the bottom in? Running. I'm not sure, Hendrik, which running flat you talk about. The only running flat I can imagine would be ABC, right? I don't really see another. Oh, on the market cap. Yeah, running flat is an option. Yeah, absolutely. I probably would dig a little bit more downside though, just to fill that wick as well. Or we already filled it, but yeah. Eventually, once you start, so again, typical impulse structure, you have your mess in the beginning, then you get your quick move, and then you get your mess at the end, right? Once this happens, that's interesting. Now, if you then also have some levels of support on the chart, support resistance, volume, any other things, you can combine these levels of support with the grind and then look to, of course, enter. But then it's of course, it's an others chart. So, but the higher the unemployment rate, in this case, it has risen to 4.2%, the better for Bitcoiners. What's up? Patrick still hanging out? Back in Spain, right? Back in Spain. Patrick, everyone, he's the owner, together with his wife and kids, of a YouTube channel as well. Oh. There we go. It's a Dutch channel, though, so just FYI. But 1.52 subscribers. If you're Dutch, you want to see how a family lives off their Bitcoin investments that they did back in the day, because they sold everything they had, actually. And when Bitcoin was close to the low, and they put it all into a bitty. And since then, been traveling the world. It's fascinating. It's really, really inspiring as well. Have you considered using Elliott waves alongside fundamental market analysis? Never. I never liked the news. I've never watched news. Of course, I know what's going on because I just look online, but I don't read newspapers. I don't go to news websites. I don't watch the news on TV. You just, through social media and your surroundings, you know what's going on. But I've never had an interest into news, period. That's not for me. It's not for me. So, and the reason why very early on in my life, I kind of stopped watching and doing anything with news, not even crypto related, just in general, when I was at school and stuff, is first of all, it's always negative. I don't know, like when I watch the news, always someone dies or there's some sickness or there's like whatever. And then the positive news is, oh, look at the prince. He went on holiday to XYZ. Wow, that's important news. I'm like, wow, there's nothing in news that gives me any value for my life. I'm like, well, I can better focus on myself and my direct surroundings and the people that I can impact, right? And take care of them and all that stuff instead of watching news. But because of that, now I do understand that. So first of all, I believe in fundamental analysis, right? If you're good in fundamental analysis, you can, of course, be profitable. Anything can work as a trader, but you need to have an interest for it, which I do not. And when I then got in touch with the chart, I, of course, very much diverted into technical analysis as a previous professional gamer. Back in the day, having the more, I suppose, gaming mind and analytical mind, it very much pulled me into technical analysis. So, I'm drawn to the puzzle of Elliott waves and technical analysis in general. Yeah, but then again, like if you read Market Wizards, I really recommend the books Market Wizards. And any sort of analysis can work. Fundamental, technical, a combination of both, but it very much depends then on your interests. And someone here maybe watching is like, well, I love the news, right? I love watching the news. I love reading it. I love researching and all that stuff. And that's good. That's good. If I don't do it, that doesn't mean no one should do it. It's good that you like it. And if you can convert that into a strategy, I mean, we're all happy, right? We can shake our hands and have a sip on the beach. So, no, all good. Yeah. But I just love technical analysis. When I wake up, one of the first things I do is go to my laptop and continue the puzzle of Elliott waves every day. I'm just doing the waves. I love it. I love technical analysis. Because of Patrick, you found the channel. Well, look at you. Thanks, Patrick. And wife and kids. Yeah, I met Patrick in Barcelona. Patrick, are you going to Token 2049 or not in Dubai? I will be there for one day. I booked my flights and hotel yesterday. It's going to be the craziest thing for me because I'll be at Token. I'll arrive. So my wife has her birthday on the 1st of May, but the Token event in Dubai is 31st or 30, I believe, April. And then the 1st of May, it's 2 days. But my wife's birthday, right, goes above any work-related stuff. So I want to be home again on the 1st of May, and then we can go for dinner and celebrate her birthday the remainder of the day. So, and then of course I have work to do before the 30th. So I arrive on the airport in Dubai at 3:40 a.m. Then we have the whole event, plus the blow-fin party in the evening. And then from that party, I go back to the hotel, grab my shit, go to the airport, and my flight is at 4:50. So... yeah, and then I'm back here in France early afternoon at like 1 p.m. and then I can hang out with my wife, probably have a little nap. But so I arrive on the 30th in the early morning, have the event, blow-fin party, go back to the airport and come back. So, jeez. Oh, man. We canceled it because of a new house. Congratulations. We're going to rent in Spain. And the 1st of May, we get the keys. Congrats. Nice. Yeah, makes sense. You're mad. No, I just first of all, I wanted to see Charles again. Charles is my direct contact at Blowfin. He's a great kid. He's so cool. So I want to meet him, talk, have a chat, and of course, see what we can do even better for everyone supporting the channel. Wanted to see some of the Blowfin employees as well. I had a meeting with one of the top level people at Blowfin in South Africa when I was there a while ago, and I'll go back to South Africa at the end of May. So I'll make sure to hit him up and have another meeting, see how he's doing. And then of course we have the party. Good to be in touch with some other YouTubers and content creators and see what's up there. So it's very much focused on networking. And then what I like is I like conferences to get some more knowledge about the industry. I know a lot about Elliott waves and trading specifically, but I know shit about blockchain and DeFi and all of that stuff. Give me a chart, I'll analyze your chart. I'll analyze your chart easy. I just don't know a lot about the fundamentals behind the industry. So I like to learn. So I got to take a lot of rest during my flight so that I'll stay awake the whole day. Is Blowfin available in New Zealand? Ooh, I don't know what countries are allowed or not allowed, but Blowfin is allowed in most of the countries in the world. What I recommend, Kiwi, is to Google on Blowfin and then restricted countries and then have a look. So I can teach you 90% is a scam. Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the DeFi and the blockchain world and the companies that are building on top of it. So yeah, I like to learn more. I don't really invest in that stuff. I was in Paris though a few days ago. When was I in Paris? Tuesday, right? Yeah. I was in Paris on Tuesday because I did invest in a company, and that was a launch meeting basically. So I wanted to be there and meet the people that they're working with and whatnot. So yeah, invested in a business. Had to go to Paris, not crypto related, yeah. But I've never really invested in crypto stuff yet, actually. Like businesses, that is. But yeah, I'm interested. I like to learn about the industry, right? So I'm very curious as a person. So yeah. Got to be a little bit quicker here. See what's up. Theo. Sounds very Dutch. Kloppers. Theo Kloppers. Man, you got to be Dutch. Yeah. Thanks for your kind words, man. You're a legend. You're a tier wizard. The way you interact with your followers is so genuine. Thank you. It's a pleasure, Theo, and thanks for hanging out and putting a bit taking the time to write a comment. Thanks, man. And I hope you're doing good. It sounds very Dutch. I'd be surprised if you aren't. Of course, Dutchies are everywhere in the world. I'm always surprised how many Dutchies are wherever I travel. Ah, South African. Okay. Would have been my second pick. My wife is South African, so I know a lot about South Africa and their heritage and the names in South Africa and some of the street names and the cities that are very much related to Dutch. But okay, unfortunately, I was wrong there. But South African, I'll be in South Africa, Cape Town, by the way, at the end of May and the first few weeks of June. I will continue to make content when I'm there, by the way, but I will be in South Africa. If you live in or around Cape Town, then happy to have a drink. If Odin is still here, Odin, we got to meet again, huh? Or again, we got to meet. We got to meet. But thanks, Theo. Donkey, buy a donkey. I appreciate your comment. Buy a donkey. Mac OS balloons effect on the camera. Oh wait, was there sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the camera interacts with my signs, but I'm not too sure what I need to do to I think a thumbs up sometimes gives a balloon, but no, it doesn't work. Spain, north of that's a question for Patrick. So yeah, price locally. Little bit of a movement. I mean, news already hit 30 minutes ago, so I mean, it's been 5. It would be nice. 5 sharp 3, get another 5, move into resistance, and then take it from there. I mean, I counted a 5 as a higher probability. The bearish, where's my ABC? Oh, the ABC is gone. A, B, C as per Pistachio. It's a good idea. It's just A is a bit awkward for me to count here. But yeah, it's news. If not yet positioned, this is not my... I always like around news. I never like to trade. I prefer to then wait. Weekend is coming up. Very likely the weekend is gonna cause a sideways range. So yeah. That's most, if you go back and take a look at the weekends, you'll see that most of the weekends are very, very sideways movements. We can have a little look while price is still not doing much. I'll do this. So let's just have, so weekend, of course, is coming up. Then we have between the lines. So that's Monday. So over here, right, that's your weekend basically. Let's have a look. The last couple of weekends. Ooh, this is gonna get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is not very clear. Let me just not do it like this. So let's have a look. This was a weekend. Oh, this was the pumpy Sunday. Yeah. If the weekend pumps, you gotta be aware. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna come back. You're gonna come back. Okay. This was Sunday, so this was weekend in the range as well. Oh, this was deep Sunday. It's interesting. If you go back in the data, if you check, most of the weekends are sideways, and you can just have a look in the data if you collect it over the years. It's very interesting. Price tends to stick in a range and just goes sideways. Generally, the bigger moves happen during the week. Good example here. 2 days of sideways. Monday grabs liquidity. Poof. We do have a few sharper Sundays here. You know, the Saturdays tend to be quiet, and then the Sunday moves 2 sideways here. Over here. Oh. Focus. So much. I'm even more focused putting circles on my chart than doing actual Elliott wave analysis. Up. It gives you a good idea of the size of the bubbles, I suppose. It's almost like a bubble star, no? Blowfin, by the way, is without the W kiwi. It's BLOF. And yes, it is in the App Store. I also have the app on my phone. Even though I never trade on the phone, I always enter or exit on a laptop system. But I do sometimes manage stuff like change the stop loss or something like that. I think you guys get the idea, no? Yeah, etc. So you can build statistics in this, and just go back further. But you'll see most of the weekends tend to stay in a range, not really be very volatile, with some exceptions here recently. mainly the Saturdays that have been quiet, and the Sundays get the push. Right? This is your Saturday, not much happening. That's your Sunday. This is your Saturday. That's your Sunday. Right? So, but yeah, those are that happened twice. Little bit. This weekend was downside. I remember that one. It just kept going. It was like it just didn't stop. It just went down. So and it was a grind to the downside. Like it wasn't even looking super impulsive. That was an interesting one. But yeah, you get the idea. And of course, you can do it on your chart and track statistics. But most of the weekends tend to be in a range, and the moves tend to happen during the week. I think this is a nice little example. Like here, the weekend or the week starts. This is weekend. The week starts. You grab out the lows of the weekend. You reverse. Weekend comes. You range sideways. New week starts. Weekend. Nice. Isn't listed in the country. It's still on App Store. I have it on my. I have it on my my iPhone and also on my Android phone. Actually, got it on both. Not sure why you're not able to find it. Not in the restrict. Kiwi, I'll make sure to ask Charles. Let me just do it here. Yo, Charles, from New Zealand. BLOFIN, eh? Okay, let me put chat back. Go to the 1 hour time frame. Still nothing happening. Okay. Let's have a look here. It's in a top bar in the camera settings, Mecca. Like emotes on video calls. Top bar in the camera settings. Okay. Yeah, I probably won't learn those. We are located between Alicante and Valencia. Dan, thanks for doing this, by the way. Maybe you should consider weekly Google or Zoom meets where people can discuss more hands-on chart probabilities. Yeah, like instead of more like a directional, which I do now, is like you have engagement by voice. Yeah, that could be interesting. We've done that sometimes on Discord. During streams, it's very one-way-ish. No, it's very one-way. Could you send me the link to the app on Discord? Yeah, just send me a DM. I can send you a link to the app. I think it should work. I don't know. I also asked Charles about it. But okay, everyone, that's going to be it. Earlier today, we analyzed XRP, Cardano, and what's the other one? SUI. Bitcoin, no change compared to the previous analysis. It was mainly focused this stream on Q&A and observing if anything happens during the news, 2:30 p.m. over here. Sometimes it takes a bit of time before you get some volatility. Let's hope we still get some volatility because, oh boy, do we want to get out of this range. A 525 here is still a speech as well. If there's going to be any quick moves or volatility, I'll make sure to boot up the stream later. If I can, I got to go out of the house for a bit as well. But yeah, just keep an eye on those times, right? And at the moment, locally here, there is it's not a lot going on. Sharp move to the downside. We're just grinding. It's a bit of a, it's no reason really to be involved at the moment. Support to the downside here remains the blue box, 80.3, 81.1. You can imagine if the weekend starts and we're still inside this mess, then we're just going to continue ranging sideways because the weekend most often is sideways. And if I open all of my lines, then you can see also what we touched, right? You can see to the upside and the levels to the downside. Wouldn't actually be surprised if we just stay in between the box and the levels above, but yeah, it's a very disappointing news session, has to be said. So yeah. Now, during the weekend, I generally don't really upload. If we get a volatile weekend, then keep an eye on the channel, because then I will be there, but it will be usually a live stream instead of a separate video. So see what we get if I'm home, of course, because likely on Sunday I'm going to be skiing. So yeah, no update then. So yeah, Buckstone is are really bad and tech. Yeah, let's have a look at what's here. So 2/3 for 76 and 1/3 for 88. Let's end the poll here. So yep, yeah, the analysis of yesterday still very much on Buckstone is. So let's see if we get some more information here, something new to work with. And then, of course, the weekend hits. The weekend can give a lot of information as well. So, Sleepy Kiwi, yeah, exactly. It must be like, what, 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? Okay, everyone, thanks for being here. If this was your first time, you just jumped in at the end, or maybe you stuck around for a little bit of time here. Thanks for being here, all the existing subscribers, the new ones, and the ones just casually watching. I value you very much as well. This was it. We've been online for almost 2 hours. We analyzed a couple of coins. I'll repeat, it was Cardano to begin with, and then we had XRP and SUI. I will make eventually separate videos on analyzing those structures as well. We didn't really focus on Bitcoin analysis, as not much happened compared to the previous video that I posted yesterday, so make sure to check it out. It's 19 minutes that hopefully you will not regret if you have not watched that video. We're almost moving into the weekend. Weekend most often is a ranging sideways structure. So if there's going to be any volatility, then let it be today, possibly during the night, Central European time, Friday on Saturday. But once the Saturday hits, usually Saturday is very quiet. And recently some Sundays have a bit of a move. But overall, if you check the data and the history, sideways tend to be quite rangy structures. So let's see if we get something different, but it's not the expectation. Now we have some news still at 5:25 Central European time, which is in 2 hours and 10 minutes. Powell in the US is going to have a speech. Whatever that guy is going to say, no idea, but it might increase the volatility on the chart later today. So just make sure you trade safe. And I'll repeat what I said earlier, and in the video as well, is with the news, volatility can increase if you're not positioned. Generally during news hours, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'll explain what I do is if I'm not positioned before any news hits, and I'm not talking about a minute before the news hit, I enter. But generally, I like to just stay out of the market because a lot of unexpected things can happen. It can be incredibly volatile. And I know that I perform best when a range is forming. I can analyze the range and trade accordingly. But now we just had some news, not too much happening. Still got some news in 2 hours. If we get some volatility, it would be nice. But touch some grass, enjoy the sun, maybe have a swim like Christian in Malta, and enjoy your day as well outside of the virtual chart world. No? It can pull you in. Sometimes having a break is nice. So thanks everyone for being here, and I will catch you during the next one, the next video, or I'll see you again in the next live stream.